Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to our Collaborating in G Suite session. My name is Gary Wagner, otherwise known as Gary the Google Guy. So with that, let's go ahead and start talking about what we're going to cover in this class, and then we'll get into our live demonstration. So I'm going to show you some various collaboration tools in G Suite across multiple applications, such as working amongst Gmail, Google Calendar, Keep, Chat, Google Meet, Drive, Docs, Sheets, and Slides, and how they're kind of all interwoven within a simple process, simple workflow. So we are going to walk through a sample workflow that I typically use in some of my things that I do in my day. So hopefully some of those will apply to you, but at least give you an idea of how you can use some of the tools that are given to you within G Suite. I'm then going to jump into a demonstration and show you some of the other tools that will be available for you in G Suite as well. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into our live demonstration. And we are going to start off in Mail. And basically what I want to do for the first part of the class, for say the 15-20 minutes beginning up, we're going to go through a process portion of the class, meaning I kind of just want to run you through a simple workflow that typically happens to me. And we'll kind of go through Mail, Google Keep, go back to Mail, Calendar, Chat, Meet, and so on. So just to kind of show you how some things can work all together. So to begin, let's just say, for example, I come into my email and I see up at the top there, I've got a new email from my boss telling me I've got a new project. So let's start working with that. So let's have a go and read. And it looks like we have a new project. So it looks like she has assigned our project team. So I need to get going with this new client for this new project. So the first thing that I personally am going to do is I open the email, I have a read, and you know what? It looks like the SOW or statement of work is attached at the bottom here. So I'm just going to go down to the bottom and yep, there it is. So the first thing that I want to do from here is I want to save this to my team drive or shared drive so that my other team members can access that. So let's go right to that. Save. Let's organize this. And I'm going to put it right into our shared drive. So let's get into shared and my team. And I think I better go to creating a new folder. We'll just say new project folder. How about that? And from there we'll click to the check and we'll move our file there, and we're going to leave it in that format, and being that we're moving it there, my entire team will immediately have access to that file. Next thing I want to do is probably set up a contact group. And I typically do this for all of our projects just to make it really easy to email everybody in one stop. So let's go to Compose from right here. I'm going to click on my To field. And from there, just to kind of pull this into our view a little bit, let's see, we have my contacts. So I need to find my team. So let's do trainer and find that one. And we should see our trainer 2 here. I'm just taking the long way around. I should have, oh, and there's Paul. I know I'm going to need Paul, so that's 1. And we know trainer is there. Trainer 1, 2. There we go, my trainer 2 account. And I'm also going to need Ian. So let's select Ian's name from there. And that will be my team, including myself. So we will click on either insert, or what I typically do, we'll go to manage labels and let's go to create, and we'll just say this is going to be our new project team, and save. So now the next time that I would want to create an email to send to my team, I could just come to my To field, start typing in new project team, and with one click it adds my entire team there for me. So it's just a nice time saver in that regard. So let's just get out of this for the moment. Actually, you know what? I'll minimize this because we can come back to that. The next thing that I typically do is I use Google Keep a lot. And if you've never used Google Keep, it's a note keeping program and then some. I use it for a lot of different things. So the first thing that I would do with my Keep is go to my Keep tab up at the top there, and you'll see that in the left side of our screen I have a template that I use for new projects. So I'm going to go into this one, and I'm going to go to the three-dot menu down at the bottom, and we are going to make a copy of this, which is a beautiful thing. I typically do checklists for things, so we're just going to make that as a copy. Now we've got two of them, and now I'm going to go to the one that I just created, and we are just going to get rid of that template part, and I will just say this is going to be our new project startup. And then the next thing I would probably do from there is color code it, just to make it a little bit different from my other template and a little quicker to see visually. And then down at the bottom I'm going to add my team members, so I'm going to share my note out with them. So this is just like a Drive file, so I can share this out with my coworkers, in this case my team, Ian. We want to share it out with Paul, and we also want to share it out with my trainer too. And let's make sure we pick the right one, and there we go. And then save. So now my entire team will get that note and have it available to them just in case somebody needs to do something or I delegate things out. So the nice part about this, now that I've got it from here, I can work with it from this application page, or if I go back to my mail screen, you'll see that in my Keep window to the far right side, I will have that note pop up at the top, and now I can start working with that, and as well as my team. So some really cool things that you can do with Google Keep in that regard. So if you're looking for Google Keep, you're going to find Google Keep in two places. One, you'll find it in this side panel. And the other place that you'll be able to find Google Keep is in the upper right corner of your screen with that 9-dot grid button, the app launcher. I just keep my apps open for the morning and go through them throughout the day, so I typically just flip back and forth between my tabs. But that's where you'd find Google Keep, and you can also get Google Keep for your phone so you can do things on the fly. Alright, so now that I've got that done, probably the next thing that I would need to do would be from the email, I need to set up a team meeting to discuss starting points and such for this project. Alright, so from here, one of the benefits that you can use from your email is at the top middle of our screen, we can click the three dots. From there, you'll see an option to create an event. I love being able to do this from here because what it's going to do is it's going to go into Google Calendar. It's going to create the event for me and save me some steps here. So let's look to the left side of the screen first. You'll see already up at the very top I have my new project ABCD. I'll just modify that. We'll say it's a kickoff meeting. Now I get to pick my date and time. I'll start off with sometime next week. We'll start off with Monday and we'll see what everybody's availability is from there. I typically like to do meetings in my morning. So let's see if we can find a 10 o'clock meeting time for everybody. We'll check that out a little bit. To the left side, I can add a Google Meet video conference, and being that most of us are working from home from now, I'm going to add that. Then I'm going to scroll on down, and you'll notice that in the attachments area, the description field, it's got a copy of the body of the email. I absolutely love this piece because now I've got everything in line, maybe details that supervisor, boss, project manager would give me, whatever it may be, but it's included in the invite. Now another thing that I'm going to do just to make life that little bit easier is I'm going to add an attachment, which is going to be that statement of work. Now we've already added it to Google Drive. I can also select it from here, and we will see there is the statement of work that I just added a moment ago, and it goes to my recent piece, and we'll select. No need to share it out because it's already in my shared drive that my entire team has access to right now. So that's a great feature to be able to use there. Now another cool piece that you have is that it has automatically added everybody as a guest that was on that email. Now if I don't want to include someone like my boss, I'll just say, you know what, Jennifer is going to be optional because she already knows about this. She's delegated this project out to me and my team, so we'll take care of business from here. Rooms, I could add a room if I need to, but being that we're all working remotely, no need. So, scrolling on down just to double check, I want other people to be able to see the guest list and such, my typical defaults, nothing really to do there. Now let's double check and see everybody's availability, and I can do that by going to the left of the screen and clicking on Find a Time. And it looks like that time is not going to work for the team because it looks like Paul's going to be busy from 10 to 11:20. So I'm going to move this to the early afternoon. We'll do that to 1 o'clock. So I can see everybody's availability in terms of mine, Ian's, Paul's, and Trainer 2 were all available during that period. And we'll do that on the 27th. And as I moved that bar for a different time where everybody's available, you'll notice that in the upper left of our screen, it automatically adjusted the time for us as well. So I think we're pretty solid with doing that piece. So we're just going to click on Save. We'll go ahead and send those invites out. And we'll have that on the calendar for Monday. Now, while I'm here, I might as well do another task that I usually do for my projects. I usually create a team project calendar. So let's go to the left of our screen, go to the bottom, and we're going to click on that plus symbol. So we're going to click on that, and from the plus symbol, we're going to go to Create New. I'm going to do this, my project ABCD calendar. And we can use this for whatever we need, whether it's specific meetings, whether it is for maybe project milestones that we all need to accomplish, adhere to, whatever it may be. Let's just click on Create. We'll wait for its creation, and then we'll go to Configure. We'll go to the left, and we're going to share it with specific people. So I'm going to immediately share this out with my team. Now, I typically create calendars for the team project, but I also always add my boss. So I'm going to give her the highest level of permission just in case. So we'll send that one off. We're going to go right back, and then we can go to add people, and we need to add Paul and Ian and my other trainer. And we're going to give them the option to make changes to events. I like giving that option because that allows people to modify the calendar if needed, meaning they could add meetings on the calendar for all of us. It's not just me that has to be able to do that. So it's kind of nice to give that flexibility for everybody. So we'll send that off, and now we've got everybody set up for our team calendar. So now I can back out of this. I think I'll just do a quick customization on that color before I forget. Let's do it in that bright radicchio type color, and now we can schedule things that way. And you know what? We have that meeting that we've got next week. I think I'm going to modify this, and let's put that on that calendar and save. So now it's on our team calendar that way. So now everybody's going to get that on their team calendar, department calendar that we've created. Okay, so now that I've got that, you know what? I want to get a jump start on things. And I noticed when I was looking at people's calendars that my coworker, Trainer 2, looked like they were not doing too much today, and it looked like they had some things that they had to do in regards to OCM and training for this project. So from here, what I can do is in my mail screen, I can chat. So I see Trainer 2, it looks like he's available and on the calls or on the account going here. So I'm going to ping a quick message to him. And see if they're there. And it looks like he's responded. Sweet, he's there. All right, so what I need him to do is direct. So I'm going to direct him to what we were talking about. Hope you saw the new project. And yes, see, you're confirming that he's seen it. Okay, so I need So you can use your chat to do these quick little pieces of information, and I've directed him, and I'm asking my coworker to do this when they get some time. And we don't need to pick up a phone. This kind of takes the place of those chats that you would have standing up over your cubicle or in the office, walking to someone and doing whatever. So now we've got that little bit of communication going. Now, I typically will also do the thing of, if I've got a lot to type out or talk about and it's just too much to type because I stink at typing, what I will typically do, see if they're there, if they're available. And in our chat feature here, in the upper left corner, there is a video call option. I can have an instant video call with them right from here. So this is a wonderful piece that you can use through your Hangout chat piece. Now, another piece that I will do, and now that it has just been added this past week, is that we have the availability in the upper right corner to use Google Meet's new feature, Add it to Mail. Now, I am using the right side chat feature, which is an advanced setting that you have in page 1 of settings. It allows me to take my chat, which is below, and put this to the right side of the screen. If you are not using that setting, your chat most likely is in the lower left corner of the screen. You would see that Meet option pop up above that on that lower left corner. Mine is popping up above my chat on the right side. Now, if for some reason you don't see this feature, being that it's brand new, one of the things that you may need to do is you may need to go to the upper right corner of your screen in Chrome, click on those 3 dots, go to More Tools, and clear the browsing data. When that window pops up at you, what you're going to want to do is you want to clear the cookies and cache. This will reset your screen from old data, which is the interface piece that we're wanting to refresh. You'd click on Clear Data for the cookies and cached images. It may sign you out of your account, so you may just have to sign right back in, but that will reset your screen, and most likely you would then see that feature appear. Okay, so just kind of a heads up on that new piece there. Another thing that is a very handy piece is, being that I had that Trainer 2 window up and I need to talk to them. If I want them to get to something really quick, one of the things that I can do, I can go from my Drive, and let's say for example I am in Drive and I wanted to have a look at that new project folder, statement of work. I'm going to open this up with the Google Docs program, and keep in mind this is in Microsoft Word. So if I want to get a jump on things, maybe I've already been reviewing this, I see some things that need to be looked at, taken care of, whatever it may be, and that's why I'm wanting my Trainer 2 to jump on this, I can actually grab the URL and have them go right to it from chat. So I do this all the time. So from the top there, we'll grab that URL, copy it, and then from our chat screen, here is the link to the SOW, and I'll paste that in and send it to them. And now they can get into it, on it, do whatever they need to do, and they can start working with that file and doing what I've asked with that delegated piece. So this is a great tool to be able to utilize. Now, being that we kind of jumped into Google Drive, let's actually go back to that and show you some collaboration tools that you have there that I use quite often. So let's get back to that statement of work, and you'll have to excuse the statement of work, which it's actually just a blank template, so it's nothing really critical here information wise, but you'll see right off the bat in the upper left corner of the screen, this is actually in Microsoft Word format. I do not have Microsoft Office on my computer, so therefore I'm going to work with it in Microsoft Word format. Maybe I need to send this back to the client. I need my other Trainer 2, which in the upper right hand corner I can see is already in the file and maybe reviewing his portion of the project in that statement of work. So they can do some things while I'm doing my thing in this. The nice part about this feature that you have in Google Drive, keep in mind once again, this is a Microsoft Word format file. I do not have Microsoft Office on this computer. This will actually allow me to edit this file. So I'm just going to do a simple edit here. I'm going to edit this file. And up at the very top, you'll see that it says saving, and it's been saved in Drive. So that change has just been taken care of while leaving it in Microsoft format. I also can see that just like a Google Doc file, Google Drive file, Doc Sheet Slides, I can share the file out, and being that I put this in my shared drive for my team, this is already shared with everybody, so everybody's already got that immediate access to. I can communicate with my coworker just like if it was a Google Drive file, Google Doc sheet slide format. I can chat with them in terms of the chat piece there. So I'm just going to direct my coworker to double check that, and then they'll be able to take care of business on their end. And it looks like he's got that, and he's going to take care of business into that area. So what's nice about this is just like a Google Drive file, they can get into the file. I can be in the file at the same time and leave it in Microsoft format. Oh, it looks like my coworker's just moved his cursor from somewhere, so where's he at? I can click on the icon in the upper right corner. Here's a quick tip for you, and it takes me right to where he's at, and it looks like he's just starting to review that OCM training area down in the bottom part of the contract. So those are some things that you can do with that aspect. Now, coworker just got a call. Maybe they have to get out of the file, and I'll see that, oh, it looks like just on timing there, right in the upper right hand corner, my trainer has left that file, but I still need them to do something. So I'm going to use the commenting piece. So I'm going to actually grab an area here, go out to the right, and I'm going to get rid of my chat because he's not in there right now. I am going to aim this at that coworker. So I'm going to use the Gary piece, or not Gary piece, we need that to be our trainer 2, and select. I'm going to assign this and then add, please enter. And I'll just be asking him to please enter the pertinent information there, and thank you. So we're going to assign that to them via a comment. Now that coworker is going to get an email with a link to the file and what my comment is, and when they click on it from that email, that will pop them right back into this file, and it will pop them to this area, and they'll be able to take care of business thereafter. Now, another thing that I probably want to do from here, being that I've got the entire family at home, it puts a stress on the internet sometimes. So if everybody's doing their streaming apps, gaming, and whatever it may be, I want to make sure I can take care of business with this file when I need to. So I'm going to go to the upper left, go to File, and I'm going to make this available offline. And we'll turn that on. So now we are going to be able to edit that file offline. So those are some collaborative things that I do, and you'll see how all of those applications are interwoven. And keep in mind, what is collaboration? It's the process of 2 or more people or organizations working together to complete a task or achieve a goal, which we've pretty much done that with the process portion of our class. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to jump back to Mail, and let's exit out of some of this stuff, and I want to go over just a few other things with each application that I think would be of help for you. So first off, being a little bit more efficient for yourself. If you are working from home, chances are you're going to be getting more emails. So immediately comes to mind is the upper right corner of our screen. Use your advanced search to find those. If you can't find it with a label, how you've organized it, in other words, then use the advanced search piece. And the 2 fields that make my life really simple for finding stuff, number 1 is the date within piece. I know when I'm looking for an email approximately when I sent it or when I received it. Past week, past 2 weeks, past month. If you do just a basic search, it's going to look through your entire year's worth or more, whatever's in your account, of emails. Why not narrow the focus down to the small window of time and limit those results right away? Now, the other piece that I will do is with the search field right below that. If it's something that doesn't come up right away, I'll immediately modify this to not only all mail, which is active emails. I'll go to mail, spam, and trash, and that will help me find anything, maybe if I had put it into my trash can and didn't realize it, or did it and didn't think I'd need it, that kind of a thing. So those are a couple things that I do there. The other thing that I do is I use the new feature that's been added to search. If I want to find all emails from a user or specific emails, I'll do a basic search, and then up at the top there's these new search chips. These are awesome to save some time. So I can say I want it to exclude anything that was a chat, and I want to have just those that are attachments, and I want to know which ones are spreadsheets, and that's it. And you'll see right away from over 60 results down to 4. And oh, there's the project timesheet that I need to get a hold of and have a look at right here and right now. So that makes life really simple in that regard. Let's jump back out of this. Another couple of things recently added in your gear icon and in settings. A couple of things that have been added to your overall functionality of Gmail, shall we say, is a couple of really cool tools. Some people turn them off right away because they get annoyed by the change, but it's a great time saver. Those things that I like to work with are dynamic email. This allows you to work with anything that was an email that had a comment in it from a file, like we just sent out one to our trainer 2. I can respond to it in real time from the email itself, so I don't even have to open the file up. So that's a beautiful thing. I would highly recommend that you enable that. Another piece that I really like are the big 3 here, which is the grammar, spelling, and autocorrect. These should already be on for you by default, but double check. I stink at typing, so if I mistype things, this kind of helps me along and either corrects it automatically or says, hey, not quite recognizing this word, can you give me a help here? Another couple of tools here are going to be Smart Compose, and another new tool that's been added to it is the Smart Compose Personalization. This will literally finish sentences off for you. All you need to do is start typing the sentence that you're used to saying, and everybody's going to be different with their job roles and such. It recognizes the language that you use, and then you just hit your space bar or arrow key and it finishes the sentences off for you. I love that. It's less for me to have to do. So those are a couple things that you may just want to double check there and work with. Okay, another thing to work with that you have in your email box itself when you're composing is down at the bottom. If you have never used the schedule send button, which is the little arrow just to the right of the send button, this is awesome. This allows you to schedule when you want that email sent. So a lot of times if I get some time before a class, like for example today, I will knock out a few emails that I've got time to do, but I don't want to send them yet. I need to get something to add to it or whatever it may be. I can schedule the sending or leave it as a draft. If I have everything in line of what I want, but I want to send it at the end of today, I can schedule when, date and time specifically. So if you want to send something at 4:59 p.m., you can do that. So scheduling send is a wonderful thing. Another really cool piece that's recently been added, it may or may not be on for your domain, but you may see this little lock type of an icon. It's confidential mode. This adds an extra layer of security to your emails, and it will basically allow that email to expire from someone's account after X amount of time. We can have it expire in a day, a week, month, whatever. Think confidential information or just an email that you want removed from people's email inboxes. We can have it expire X amount of time or a date, and then you can also add a layer of security which is requiring a passcode. When you enter people as guests to your email recipients and you click on the SMS passcode piece, when you click on save, it's going to say, all right, this content will expire, we can edit that, and when we send this off to the person, and you'll know you're in confidential mode because if you look at the border of the email that was created, notice how it's blue, gives you just a little bit different visual. It will require them to enter a passcode from their phone, and they will have to enter that passcode to access the email itself. So I really like that piece, that it may have confidential information or information that you want to expire after a certain amount of time. The last piece that I want to give you is from here. Working from home, you want to be a little bit more efficient. You have emails that are coming in nonstop, maybe throughout your day. Some you're going to have to take action on, some you may not. One of the tools that you may want to use is to the far right side, and that is the snooze button. Think of your alarm clock. It goes off, email comes into your inbox, in other words. What do you want to do with that alarm clock when it goes off in the morning? You smack it, you throw it across the room, whatever it may be, and if you turn it off for a period of time with the snooze button, it goes back on 15 minutes later or whatever. This works kind of the same way. It's kind of like an email reminder. This will pop up back at the top of our inbox at a specific date and time that I have specified. And it allows you to do it right from here. You don't have to even be in the email to do it. So you can snooze it until later today, tomorrow, next week, but I almost always pick the date and time specifically that I want that email to pop up on. And then if there's something in there that I need to email to a coworker or communicate something with, it allows me to remind me to do that. So those are some things that I like to use from Gmail. Let's talk about Google Calendar. In the calendar screen, a couple of things that you may want to do. You may need to add some additional calendars of your coworkers. Down on the bottom left to do this, you can click on the plus symbol, and then you can subscribe to calendar. From there, you enter your coworkers' names, whoever it may be. So let's say we want to enter Paul's name, we want Paul's, and now we've got that one to the left of our screen to work with. And with the calendar colors that show up to the left, you can always modify those and customize those to whatever you would like. No one else sees those colors, so you can customize them. You already see me use a few of the tools that you have within our calendar piece. When we're creating, we can also add video conference Google Meet options. We have things that we can do with find a time to see if coworkers are available. I use that all the time. Now that you have the option of joining a Google Meet from your mail screen, a couple of things about Google Meet there. In the upper right corner, you'll see that there is a start a meeting option or join a meeting. If you look at a meeting link, the last 10 letters is a code, and when you click on join a meeting, you'll see it says enter the meeting code piece, and it's that 3-4-3 letter code. That's what you want to enter here to be able to join a meeting. So if someone in their chat message pings you, said, hey, can you join this meeting really quick? So I will get things like that all the time. So for example, with my screen, I have all the different things that I can do with my chat. One of the things that I may look at in doing, oh, it looks like I got a new message from my trainer 2 there. It looks like they want me to join this Google Meet. So they'll ping that code to me in chat. I can just copy that, go to join a meeting, paste, and join. And I can get right into that meeting right away. So that's a really cool piece that you can once again collaborate with your coworkers in the chat area of your mail screen as well. Okay, all right, jumping back to Google Calendar. Another couple of things that you can do with Calendar. We showed you how to create that event from the copy in email, or create an event from an email, shall we say. Another thing that you can do, I really like this meet with tool to the left. So I want to create a quick meeting this afternoon, and I want to do it with Paul regarding his part of the project. You'll notice that on my screen it kind of shades some areas out, and these are actually work hours in that shaded area. So this is the time that Paul is not working, Saturday, Sunday, and Paul is in Atlanta, so 2 hours time difference from where I'm at. He has a little bit different work hours than I do. In your first page of settings, there's work hours. You can set those up for yourself as well. But the important part here is that it pulls Paul's calendar up for me to look at in this like gray color. and I can see that he's got some time, and I can knock out a quick meeting here with Paul. It automatically titles it for me, automatically adds him as a guest, and now I can see his availability just by looking on this. If I wanted to see a different date and time, I could get out of this real quick, or from that screen I could also go to next week and have a look. And that dark gray is Paul, I'm in the blue. I could say, you know what, how about we do that next Wednesday? And if you want to do it from here, you can do the see guest availability window. I also will need to add that Google Meet. So with a single click, it adds that, and away we go. And now we've just created that quick meeting to knock out in a couple of clicks. So I really like that piece there. Another piece that I really like, and I try to stress this as much as I can with people that have never really worked from home before, and that's being able to take breaks for yourself. And if you want to save yourself a few headaches here and there, and I do this just about every day, I will use an out of office slot for when I go for a walk with my dog. And they're really easy to do. So let's say, we're Friday, we're getting ready to close up the shop for the end of the week, whatever it may be, but I'm going to take my dog for a walk at 2 p.m. So I can click here, and up at the top, I'm just going to say OOO as an out of office. It doesn't have to be a specific title, but you'll also see the out of office piece underneath that. Now, the nice part about out of office, when you can create these events, you can create them for a specific time, not just 2 to 3, but you could drag and make it a longer time period if you'd like. You can make it for an all-day event, whatever it may be. But the cool part here is that you can have the box selected for it to automatically decline meetings during this window. I decline because I'm out of office. You can change your message if you would like. Save, and now if someone tries to book me during that out of office period, I don't have to worry about trying to take that video call during my walk. I don't have to worry about communicating with them. They know that I'm going to be out of pocket for that little bit. So I use that quite often. I reserve that little bit of headspace time for me to kind of refresh and get outside for some fresh air. And of course my dogs love me for it too, because I don't get interrupted of having to stop and sit down and talk and create and work with my coworkers for a meeting there. Okay, so that's some of the stuff that I do from Google Calendar. Let's jump back and talk about Google Meet. Other things that you can do with Google Meet. There is a standalone program that you can utilize in your apps launcher there or on your phone. And with Google Meet from here, you'll have the option of being able to start or join a meeting. So some of the things that you can do is, you want to do that impromptu meeting. In the mail screen in that upper right corner of mine, I can click start a meeting, and it will immediately go into Google Meet. It's starting up. I'm just going to mute my microphone real quick and turn my camera off. But you'll see that you have the option of seeing what's going to be in your background before you enter the meeting itself. I always recommend that, especially when you work from home, because you never really know what's going to be in back of you. Maybe the angle of your monitor, if you've got it sitting on your lap, or you have something sitting on a table, or you just don't want people to see certain things in your background, your apartment, your house, or whatever. So use that piece there when you click to join from that mail screen. I'm going to get out of this and then go back to our Meet program. Same kind of thing. We can go to join or start a meeting. We can enter that nickname. We can also just type in training. Continue to start one from scratch. And when I do this and have not entered anybody's name, it's going to give me the option to copy all that information and ping it to someone. So in this case, my camera failed, which is okay by me in this regard, but I'm going to mute my microphone, which I always do, but I always test things. If you look in the lower left corner here, you'll see my microphone is currently working. We're good to go there. And then I'll mute it upon entering into the meeting. Lower right hand corner, there's 3 dots. Gives you some different options. Typically people will double check things if they're having issues with their audio or video. Go to settings and make sure that they got the microphone working, And then for the video piece, they want to make sure everything's going on well there. Sometimes you need to do some different things in terms of picking a different option, resolution, and so on. You can do that from here as well. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to jump into the meeting itself, because there's some things that we want to do. Now if you are typically using a laptop, you do not necessarily need to use your phone to join that meeting for audio. Your laptop has the microphone. It will work just fine. Your phone is usually needed for those meetings that are either through specific platforms that require that, or if you are working and you have a tower as your computer, being that there's no microphone and video connected to that, that is typically when people have to join and use a phone for the audio. But if you're using a laptop, 99% of the time you're fine with just joining and using the computer's video and audio piece. Shouldn't have a problem there. So we're going to just jump into the meeting itself. As I jump in, I haven't added anybody yet, so it immediately pops up my window here for me to copy the joining information, and once again I can now go to that. It's copied to the clipboard. I can jump into my meeting with my coworker, paste it into chat, and now I've sent them that link to get into. Now they'd be able to click on that and get into it. So this is a really cool piece that you can use as well, and I use that quite often. If you want to get people into a quick meeting or whatever it may be, you'll have that option. So let me see here. Let's get back to Meet, and we will get out of this and we'll start working with our Google Meet screen. Now a couple of things have been done with Google Meet as of late. One, the recipient number has been bumped up to 250 for just about everybody. So that's one cool piece. Another cool piece that you will have is one of the, and it looks like Trainer 2's joined, so you can see who's on the call. But another cool piece that's recently been added, which has been one of the crazes as of late, is in the lower left corner, the 3-dot icon. And underneath Change Layout, you will now see a tiled option, and it will allow you to have up to 16 people visible in one screen. So that is brand new as of this week. So that's kind of a cool piece if you just want to see everybody's face in the meeting if you have that many people on. So that is a new piece that has recently been added too. You do not need a Google account to access Google Meet, so you can ping this link to anyone and everyone and they'll click the link and be able to get into that. So that's a really neat piece. Your domain, if they have a certain setting on, can have Google Meets automatically added to calendar invites for anything that you create. But that's a domain setting, so that's not necessarily for you to turn on or turn off. Another couple of cool things. You have in the upper right corner, you can see who is on the call. You can add people from here, and you can enter their name. You can also call them via a phone number if you would like. You've got the chat feature, so you can actually have a text chat. Once again, we could say, you know what, I would like everybody to jump into this document, and I could ping my team the link, and now my team could get into that while we're all talking on this call. Or the other thing that you could do is you could go to present, and we could go to a window, and on that window it will give me whatever I want to pick. So I'll say, you know, I want to pick this window and share that, and now everybody will be able to see what my screen looks like. Now I could pull up that tab, and now my coworkers would be able to see on their screen this file, and now we can discuss, okay, Trainer 2, you need to do this. Paul, you need to do this. And hey, why don't we look at this portion? Is this reworded or worded in a different way or whatever it may be? So you've got some different things that you can do with the share a screen thing. So you've got options there. Another couple of things that you'll have down in that bottom right, if you're having audio or video options or issues while you're on the call, you can always go to your settings from here and double check. You can also switch over to using a phone for audio if needed. You do have the ability to log in multiple times, like from your phone and from the video portion if you need to. Okay? Another piece. You may see the record meeting option. So you can actually record your Google Meets, and that will save it as a video file in your Google Drive, and then you can share that out with your coworkers later on. And this is a great piece for maybe brainstorming sessions or maybe project setup, so you want to keep those details that maybe you didn't take notes on or whatever it may be. So that's kind of a cool piece to refer back to there. And yes, it will ask everybody permission wise to be able to do that. So those are some tips that I can give you in regards to Google Meet. So I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to jump back to Google Keep. I want to talk about a couple of things when it comes to Google Keep. Remember, Google Keep is a note-keeping program. You can type in notes. You can also copy and paste things in and whatever you want to do there. Another couple of things. Let me go back to my mail screen. Another cool piece that you can do with Google Keep. Let's say, for example, I'm reading that new Project ABC note or email. I want to create a note from that. So I'm going to go to my Google Keep. Now, what's kind of cool about this is that from Google Keep, you can connect notes to emails. So if I go into take a note, you'll see that I haven't even typed anything yet, and it has immediately created a connection to this email. So now I could say this is going to be new project ABCD, take a note, call accounting about something in regards to this. Done. I can create those notes from here in Google Keep and work with them hereafter. If I go back to my Keep application, you'll see it immediately syncs up, and there is that piece. Another cool piece that you can do with Google Keep is from your screen here. You'll see that you have different icons down at the bottom. We showed you how to do the color coding. We showed you how to do the collaboration and add people. But you can also do some things like the three-dot menu will allow you to add a label. So you can group these things up. If you don't want it to be just a simple text note, you can show checkboxes and add things as tick-offs to be able to do and accomplish. One of the cooler things that I use quite often is in the lower left corner of this box, and that is the Remind Me piece. I use calendar reminders for everything these days. I love calendar reminders, and we can do them from notes. So let's say we pick a date and time about this particular thing. We'll say, today's the 24th, and how about we change this to custom, and I want to type in exactly what I want. I want this to be at 3 o'clock p.m. Does not repeat, because you can make it repeating, and we'll save that, and now we have a reminder connected to calendar. So let's go back to our calendar view, and we will now see, let me just do a quick refresh here because we should see that pop up for us. Right in the area of the right side, lower right corner of our screen. And there we are. We have our new Project ABC, call accounting reminder. And now, what was that about? We can go back to note. You'll also see that if you don't have Keep pulled up, you can view the related note in Keep, and it will take you right to Google Keep to work with that note. And maybe that was a note that you shared out with your coworkers as well. So I really like a lot of those different options that you can do with Google Keep and your notes to organize them, collaborate and share them out, and work with those different things from there. Okay? All right, the next thing, let's go to our Google Drive. Let's show you a couple of things there. My Drive versus shared drives to the left there. So my drive is that space that you're going to see all of the files that you have created, or that there is an individual as an owner, because you do have the ability to add shortcuts from, like shared with me, those files that someone else owns. We could take any of those and we can add a shortcut to our Google Drive. Quicker access, one place to find it as opposed to two or more. Okay? That's a My Drive situation, individual owners of files and folders. You also have shared drives. Shared drives, there are no owners of files. All of the files and folders are owned by the domain. So what's nice about that is if there's turnover, people either being added or subtracted from a team, a department, or group, whatever it may be, This is a beautiful thing because all of those files stay there. Nobody on the team is going to miss a beat. So for example, if I go to my team ABC, I can see that there are 5 people on this team. And there is my team, including my boss. Well, let's say, for example, Ian gets transferred to another group. Ian could be removed from this shared drive, but all of the files, even if he was the one that created them, are going to stay there. So it's a beautiful piece to work with departments, teams, project groups, whatever it may be in that regard. So if you haven't played with that, that may be something you want to consider using, sharing those files out very easily and quickly, and keeping them intact in one nice neat place. Now, another couple of things that you may want to work with, and you saw me do one already, and that is working with Microsoft artifacts. So you have the ability to be able to upload Microsoft files into Google Drive and leave them in Microsoft format. You can work with them in Microsoft format. You can edit them with all of the Google tools that are available for you, and it will save all of those changes for you. Now, another cool piece that you have is, let's go back to our statement of work here, which is our Microsoft file. You do have the ability underneath the file menu to save this as a Google Doc format. Now, when you do this, it's going to convert it into Google format, and it will take all of your changes maybe that you've already made and convert that into Google format, but it will leave from this point forward, or back I should say, our Microsoft file intact. It's not going to substitute it. It's not going to erase it, delete it, and convert it and then substitute it in place of. It's going to have 2 files in your drive. One will be, in this case, Word format. The other one will be Drive Doc format. So that may be something that you want to do. Are there advantages? Yes, there are. There are advantages because you have the full-on gamut of different tools that you can use within Google Drive, within Google Doc Sheet Slides, which is the other applications, to utilize with those file formats. Now, one of the other cool pieces that you have with this option of leaving it in Microsoft for whatever reason, we still have the availability of going to version history. And I can see all of the changes that my coworkers and I have made to this Microsoft file, even though it's in Microsoft, but I can see all of the changes that may have been made to the file, just like this was a Google Doc format, which is a beautiful thing. So it can keep track of all of those things, color code them, timestamp them. It's wonderful to be able to keep track of all those things if it was a Microsoft format. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert this to a Google Doc, because I want to show you another option that you have if you choose to convert this into Google format. You will also have the availability of the file menu, and in that file menu, if it's converted to Google format, I need to send this back to my coworker, to my client, as a Microsoft Word file. So I have the availability here to convert it back to Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint if I want to, or as a PDF. So in all your doc sheet slides, you have converters for Microsoft as well as PDF. So that's a wonderful tool to be able to utilize and collaborate with vendors, with coworkers, people outside of your domain that may only have Microsoft to work with. So those are some things that you can do. You can download them as Microsoft Word PDF. You can email them as an attachment. You can also email all of the people you've shared this file with if you'd like to do that as well. And you can do it under those different format options too. The last piece I'll give you here, and this is just a bonus tool that I use all the time in doc sheets and slides. You've heard me say it a number of times. I stink at typing. One of my favorite tools is underneath the tools menu, and you will see the option to use voice typing. How does this work? Well, let me just go down here near the bottom of our screen just to give you a little bit. If you have a headset or earbuds with a microphone on it, it works 10 times better, but it will still work without a headset earbuds. But you can actually speak like you would hands-free texting in your Google Docs. Let me demonstrate. So with this tool, I can turn it on from my web view screen with that icon with a simple click, period. I can speak at a normal pace. I don't have to clearly enunciate and let the program do its thing by speaking slowly, period. I can speak at a normal pace and not miss a beat. And you'll see that the accuracy on our screen is 99 to 100%, period. There are over 300 commands that you can utilize, not just speaking, but to format your file as well with nothing but your voice. So if you click on the little question mark in the bottom right corner of that tool, it will tell you how to work with it, use your voice typing, how to use voice commands, and you'll see that you can actually format your document. You can apply headings. There's just too much to speak to. I mean, text coloring, highlighting, the whole nine, all with your voice. So that's a pretty cool piece if you want to give your fingertips a rest. And as you can see, you may need to just go back and say, that didn't need to be uppercase, just lower, and you kind of rock on from there. So those are some of the different tools that I thought would kind of help you out, as well as a simple workflow using all of your tools together with coworkers, how you can share things out, how you can mingle different applications with themselves in your G Suite. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I have for you for our Collaborating in G Suite webinar today. I would like to say thank you so much for attending our webinar today. I do appreciate that. Just a couple of additional resources to throw out to you there. If you'd like to visit my YouTube channel, you can go to YouTube, type in Tempus Nova Trainings, and you should see a whole bunch of short videos on how-tos, as well as anything that's a brand new feature to Google. And that will include your entire G Suite, Docs, Sheets, Slides, Drive, Mail, Calendar, Keep, the whole nine. And I usually do those fairly quickly once I've got access to those new features. And then the other piece that I'll throw out there for you is our G Suite support site. And you can do it through the bit.ly shortened link there, and that will have a whole bunch of resources there for tips and tricks and shortcuts and all of that wonderful stuff that may help you along your way working from home. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much once again for attending our webinar today. And until we meet again, another day, another time, another class or update, this is Gary the Google Guy signing off. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye now.